Yiratzon, Parashat Vayera, 5781, the Limud Shabila Refuat, Kol HaCholim, V'tucham Tanya Bat Oda Margalit, Yosef Yair Ben Avivachava, Harav Sivan Ben Sima, B'tol Kol Sha'ar Cholei Israel. When we're dealing with Sefer Shmot, entering into the second Parsha, it's very clear and obvious that one of the major questions that rise is the question of leadership. What makes a good leader? What makes someone that's able to elevate people from the lowest to the highest? So I wanted to start with Morin Rabbeinu Reb Eitan, one of the greater leaders of our generation, to give his definition of what does he feel is the most important factor of what makes a leader. Eitan, on you.
I think my definition of leader would be someone that's able to mess up and still go in front of the entire nation and be able to tell them that and like own up to their mistakes and tell them like, oh, I did wrong, and not kind of like hide behind the fact that they did it, like we learned that Yehuda did with the whole Tamar situation.
So we'll just take Reb Eitan, just a Perush Rashi on what he said. Chas v'shalom, not the word Rashi, but just to try and give a bit of a addition. For Reb Eitan, the ability for someone to own up, not for someone to be perfect, not for someone to be great, but for someone to enable themselves to not be afraid to say to people, I failed, is what makes a leader incredible. And I think that if we take what Reb Eitan said, in addition to maybe a little bit different, in our parsha we'll see something miraculous. When Moshe Rabbeinu is described in Perek Zayin, immediately before, it says to us the lineage of Reuven, and then it says Shimon, and then it describes the tribe of Levi, tell Moshe Rabbeinu, and then it stops. And so many people ask, what is the need? If you want to describe all of Am Yisrael, go for it. Describe from Reuven all the way down to Binyamin. You want to describe Moshe? Describe the tribe of Levi. What's the need to start from Reuven, Shimon, and then Levi? And I think that if we think about it on a deep, deep level, there's an extreme concept and message about the definition of leadership. Very often we view leadership as privilege. We look at it as something that is exalted, something that earns respect, someone that is greater, that's more talented, that has more ability, that's more special. And that is the antithesis of leadership in Am Yisrael. A leader is not someone that has more ability. A leader is not someone that has more privilege. A leader is someone that is aware of the fact that they are not in privilege, rather in responsibility. The tribe of Reuven is the first, Shimon is second, Levi is third. For whatever reason, Reuven wasn't chosen for something he did. Shimon wasn't chosen for what he couldn't do. So the torch of responsibility went down to Levi. And that is saying to Moshe Rabbeinu, you're not getting this torch because you're better. You're getting this torch because you're excited to continue the responsibility that others could not. You're not gaining and you're not doing something new. You are not the first tribe. You're only the extension of the responsibility that others were not blessed to do. And when you get that frame of mind, you don't see yourself as someone that earns privilege. You see yourself as someone that earns responsibility. So often we stray away from responsibility. We give it to other people. Moshe Rabbeinu says to himself, no matter where I go, if I'm down in Midian and I see women being hurt, that's my responsibility. It's not, I don't get privilege from it. What does he get? Okay, so maybe he gets a wife after. That's not what he thought would happen. When he goes out and he sees two people fighting and he says to them, what are you doing? There's no benefit. There's no privilege. There's only toiling, struggling. You look at Moshe Rabbeinu's life, he says to Ribono Shel Olam, I'm leading the Jewish people. And it hurts. It's difficult. And that's why. because I enjoy the opportunity of responsibility. So many chevra in the world, Rabbi Eitan also may ask this question, and Rabbi Ari taking the video, how do you wake up in the morning? And a lot of people have all these ideas. Make your bed, put up your pillow, have a chocolate bar, all these great ideas. At the end of the day, we all know the only reason that people start off their day is if they recognize responsibility. If they're able to look at themselves and say, I'm not waking up because I'm the center and I'm the privilege. It's because I have merited the presence of being responsible. And to end off this vision of Moshe Rabbeinu as a person who understands that his emphasis is that I want responsibility. I don't need it. I want it. Morin Rabbeinu Rav Kook, when he would sign every single letter, he would write down Eved Le'am Kadosh. He was excited to be a servant. How many of us are excited to serve? We all go to customer service, but we're not the service. We ask others to serve us. But how excited are we to serve others? Shabbat Shalom.